Hi everyone, it's Sarah from Plan Sarah Plan, and welcome to the Great Planner Move-In. Welcome to my channel, everyone. I am so glad you're here, and this is so exciting. If you're like me, you're setting up your new planner, whether it is for a July start or an August start or a January start. I hope that you will find some tips and some ideas in this video as I set up not one, not two, but 3 different planners. Planner number 1 is my bouquet themed dashboard layout weekly planner. Planner number 2 is my minimal themed vertical layout weekly planner. And planner number 3 is my softbound vertical layout teacher planner. I don't want this video to be complicated. I want it to be fun and efficient. So the first thing I'm going to do in all 3 of these is put down a name sticker or just write my name. In my case, I am using name stickers, but I have no aversion to writing my name. It's just that I have a sticker shop, and so I have stickers to use. And this is a custom name sticker. It says Mrs. O'Brien. In the other 2 planners, it's just going to say Sarah. And I'm going to space these here with the lines and hopefully center them somewhat. And I'm going to be not fussy about it. I want it to be fun. Done. Here is my minimal themed vertical layout, and I just did 1 custom sticker because in my shop I do 2 on a sheet. So I just made myself 1 of these, and I'll use it for both of the weekly planners. And I had previously written my name on this one, so I whited it out just so that I could be consistent in this video. But I was pleased with how I wrote my name. I just used a black dual tip marker, and I love how those dual tip markers feel on the paper. It was one of these, but here we are with a sticker. Now, the next part of this is something that I do a little over the top with stickers because, like I said, I have a sticker shop. These are moving kits that I have in both the earth tones or bouquet theme and the colorful or hexagons theme. In addition, I have made some other things that are not even listed in my shop. These are little squares for the mini calendars in the beginning of the planners, and I will show you those later, but you definitely need tweezers, and this is my first batch. But I love how these turned out because you get more than just the outline of the date in a square, but you also get like a cutout center part of it that you can use either for your key on that mini month spread, or you can just use later on in your planning. I also made some skinny washi strips, and I will explain why. That was especially important in the Bouquet Life Planner because I discovered with the help of my planner friend Vicki that the headers in the 12-box spread of the bouquet layout are sized larger than they are in the minimal or the colorful layouts. So these are things I'm going to test today and then list in my shop if they work out. So these are my moving kits, and these are some extras that I made. This is a dupe of an old Erin Condren sticker that they no longer have in their planners, and I don't sell these, but occasionally you will just find one accidentally slipped into your order as a freebie. It's just a vote sticker, and these are extra header sheets that I also have in my shop, sheet B and sheet C, because sheet A comes in either of these moving kits. So I just want to show you the things that I will be pulling from as I work through my move-in. I'm going to cover up some barcodes next. Some of us find these little barcodes on the inside of our covers a bit annoying. So I made barcode cover-ups. They're not necessary at all. But this is the one that matches bouquet, and it is very sticky, so I have to be really careful. And there's a number as well as the barcodes code. So I hope I get this just right to cover it up. Yeah, I just think that looks better than the barcode, but you can just leave your barcode if you want to, obviously. And then over here on the hexagon cover, I'll use a colorful version of the same thing. And I think they have to put these barcodes in here, as annoying as they are, because it helps them to get the correct cover with the correct planner when you order. I scooted it over just a bit to cover up everything. In my softbound teacher planner, there is no barcode, but one thing I like to do with softbound planners is add a pocket because they don't come with pockets. So would you just look at this gold foiling? I love that. I'm going to put a pocket on the back cover and on the front cover. These are adhesive corner pockets that are very strong, so be careful when you place it that you have it right where you want it. They are 3M adhesive, at least they used to be. I don't see the 3M now, so I think they are. But they are available from Erin Condren at least sometimes. I believe I got mine during a big sale, and so, but I like them. I'm glad they were still available, and they point. Oh, good. Okay, so there is one for the back, the way this is oriented with the logo. You can put one on the back and one on the front this way. I guess I could do that, but then my papers will be flying out, so this must be the right way. And the adhesive on it is very sticky, if it's like it used to be, even though I don't see the 3M on it now, so I don't really know. And I just like to line mine up at the bottom corner about 1/8 or 1/4 inch in from the bottom and from the side, and work out any air bubbles. And now I have a nice pocket that I can tuck papers into right here. Let's see if this is still, yeah, this is still very sticky. It may be removable, but I am not going to test that. Although it's pulling up slightly, so I think it might be removable, but it's not going to go anywhere with your regular use. And I just like the ability to tuck cards from students or little programs from things that we do throughout the year in these pockets. All right, so let's do the back one and peel this off. And by the way, please chime in below if you have any move-in, so to speak, ideas for your planner that you would be willing to share with everybody, me as well as any other viewer who checks the comment section, because I think it's so much fun to share tips and to learn from each other. And sometimes another person's tip will actually maybe not be something I use exactly, but it'll be something that gives me an idea for something I hadn't thought of before. Now that all of the covers are taken care of, I'm going to debulk these planners just a little bit. This one is a 12-month planner, so I'm not going to remove any months. The other one that is the minimal is an 18-month planner, and I am going to remove 6 months. The only thing that I plan to remove in this planner are the sticker sheets, which in this one were the wrong color. I was supposed to get the neutral colored sticker sheets since this is a bouquet life planner, but mine was a preview copy. It was a gift from the company to me as an affiliate, and I did a review on this if you want to see a complete walkthrough. And so I am not picky about free things that I get from the company. The other one that is the minimal, I purchased myself, and that one has the correct color stickers, which are the ones that would have normally come with the Bouquet Life Planner, and I will show you those next. But we're also going to take out, I have this budget add-on, and they have corrected this, I think, but some of these pages are in wonky order. So on the tab that says budget, it says spending summary, and then it goes right into these debt or payment plan trackers, and those don't belong right there. And then the savings trackers, those should be in the back. Now, if I really wanted to be careful with them, I would not tear them out, or I would maybe snip here along the coil and then carefully take it out and put those in the back. I don't plan to use the debt plan or the savings tracker. I'm just not going to use those, so I'm not going to be especially careful. I'm just going to take them out. All I want to use are the spending tracker pages. And one more should do it. Okay, and these are just going to go in my giveaway box. I collect little extras, leftover stickers, anything that I think someone who might want to sample different things would enjoy. I will take all of this business off because the pages are perforated. So I'll take this coil business off of it, and maybe somebody who gets my giveaway box will appreciate just having these to play around with. But there, that's what they'll look like in my giveaway box. It's no big deal, just a little something I'm going to toss in there. Now let's move over to the other weekly planner, and I have more to take out, and I will not make you suffer through the sound of me tearing out all of the pages, but let's take a look here. I have 18 months, and I knew that I would not need the last 6 months. I just like the larger size coil that comes with it. And I did not get an extra note section, I don't think. I believe I just left the add-ons off of this one. I did, because I thought I could just transfer over the budget ones if I end up using this or Franken planning. That's a long story that we'll get into another time. But for now, what we're going to do is go from July and take it all the way to December and tear out all of these weekly planning pages. I realized that was a little bit violent, but I wanted to get it done. And there was a time when I was new to Erin Condren planners that I considered all of these pages precious, and I saved everything. And but now, as an affiliate, I get more than I could ever hope for. Like I said, this was not a gift. I bought this one, but I have way too much to be saving everything. So I will trim off the little ragged edges and put those extra 6 months in a giveaway box. I don't know what anybody would want to do with it, but they might want to play around with this layout if they haven't used it before. Let's also take out the stickers, which I don't like to keep coiled in. So here's the different look. These are the neutral ones, if you haven't seen them yet. And all of the same shapes are here, but they are the colorway that goes with minimal and the bouquet theme. And hopefully that is not too crazy loud. I'm going to keep the stickers, of course. I use a lot of them, not all, but I'm super excited that they gave us enough of these dollar stickers to cover all of the paydays that you could want to cover. Unless you get paid every day, there should be enough. And that was a request that I made last year, and somehow either they got that request or they thought of it themselves and they implemented it. I was very happy about that. I'm not going to take my time to trim this right now because we're occupied with moving in, but just know that I will be trimming off the edges of both of these stacks of stickers. Now this is great because I tend to sticker up quite a bit, and I have a big enough coil to accommodate it here. I also have a decent size room with this coil to sticker up, but this is a smaller coil, I think. Yeah, this is definitely a smaller coil than what I got on my 18-month. So I may end up swapping out. I've done this before. It's no big deal unless you're just nervous about it. I may end up swapping out the larger coil for the planner that I end up using the most. But as of right now, my plan is to start doing some plan with me's in the dashboard layout, but also plan in my vertical. Just keep them both going for a while and just see what feels best after a while. But look how much bigger that coil is. So if you want the big coil, definitely get the 18-month. This was 12-month plus add-ons, and they did not make the coil super large. So really my add-ons would fit better on this one, but we'll deal with that at another time. So over here in my softbound teacher planner, I have worked out my teaching schedule. I'm a private piano teacher, so this is not like the school system schedule. But what I'm going to do first of all is mark key dates on this calendar. I will also do the same dates in these because my personal planner, my piano teaching calendar definitely have to work together. So I'm going to be doing a lot of these date little squares that I made. So let me get those out again. Here is the colorful version. Here is the neutral or earth tone version. And since I have the hexagon version of the teacher planner, it's colorful on the inside, I'm probably going to be using these, and I'll save these for my bouquet calendar spread, the mini month spread. So I'm going to go into time lapse, and as I go, I will create a key. But let me just show you some things before I do that. What I'm excited about with these stickers is that you get kind of 2 for 1. You're definitely going to need tweezers, but you get a little square that's going to fit on your dates. Okay, so you can call out a date, but then you've got this leftover stuff that you can totally use as like a check mark somewhere. You could use it as a bullet point. Save those little things. It's like 2 for 1 on this sheet, and I could have made this white on the inside, but it was just easier. I'm going to get a more accurate cut this way anyway, with all of the color where it should be in the box, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go into time lapse, but I wanted to show you how these work and to point out that you will definitely need tweezers or just precision little tiny fingers. Okay, so now I'm going to take the corresponding color, but just the inside part of that box that was left, and make my key. Okay, so my key is all filled out, and I added in my music teachers meetings as well as 1 or 2 other things that I had forgotten about. And I just put a color-coded key underneath each month. And of course, you color code the way you need to do it, but this was fun. I just decided to use for my regular lessons the color of the month. So September is this amethyst color, and I just thought it would be fun to go with the amethyst for September. All right, so we're going to go over to my dashboard bouquet planner. Over here, this is going to be slightly different. All of my piano dates will be purple, so piano purple. Paydays will be green, and birthdays will be pink, whatever this color is called. It's like blush. It's like a blush, this August color here. And then anniversaries will be yellow, and if I come up with something else, I will use my blue and this kind of terracotta. So let's do the birthdays first. Okay, a bunch of birthdays. I used up a bunch of those pinks, and what I'm going to do now is just take one of them and add it to my key, which I guess we'll do on the left side. I don't really have a preference. Okay, before we go any further, I just thought, let's pull out the washi tape fan that is in this bouquet design and see if we can use those longer strips that are in the back to decorate the top of this. So I think we have some blue ones and some pink ones, and that might be it. And probably because I've just put down these pinks, I am going to use this pink. And it's an odd shape, so I think I'm going to need more than one for each page, but not quite 2. So we will just do, let's put the flowers on the bottom of it and start all the way over there and leave about 1/8 of an inch at the top. For no reason, I'm just keeping track so I can do the whole thing that way. And look, there's this little asterisk skinny washi in the middle that I don't think I saw when I first looked at the washi fan. So they have one of these washi fans in hexagon also. So if you wanted to get one of these in either design, you can. And just going to trim it with a little handy scraper and come on over here and try to go 1/8 of an inch down from the top. So I've used 2 of those so far, and there are 3 sheets that have the pink washi on it. So I should have started with the first one. I guess I was just too excited to get going with it. And I'm overlapping here where the pattern is the same. And, you know, I could trim that so it's not darker right there. Maybe I will. Taking it all the way to the edge. And I'll put this back on here and save it. Okay, now we're going to go on to anniversaries. Those are going to be this nice kind of butter color. And I'm getting better at this. It definitely is something that you have to take a little bit of time to do because the stickers are so delicate, but it's definitely doable. Also, whenever I come to something where I have two things on the same day, then I'm just going to kind of stagger it a bit where I can still see the date like that. Okay, now as for like identifying whose birthday is what, I will do that off camera. For now, I just have my key, and the next thing I'm going to do is my piano dates, not as many as I put in the teacher planner. The first day of the term, the recital dates, and meeting dates. So those are all just going to be, what did I say? Paydays are green, right? Purple, P for piano and purple. Okay, next I'm going to take blue and mark out my breaks from teaching. So blue for breaks, that works out. And the last one I'm going to do is paydays with green. The paydays are all done and the key is here. I will put some private details up under each mini month when I'm not filming, but that's going to do it for this spread. Now, I think I said I was going to do the same thing in the hexagon planner. That's unrealistic. I'm not going to do that because this took me a good long time. So I will just use this throughout the year. Even if I decide to use the minimal planner, I called it hexagon just now, but even if I decide to use the minimal planner, I will still just use this because that's a little bit overkill to do too many of these spreads. One for myself, one for my teacher planner. That's good enough for me. So that takes us to the 12 box spread. Now I was doing an experiment on this bouquet themed planner when I was talking to my affiliate friend Vicki. She goes by Planners, Travels, and Dreams if you want to follow her. But she ordered my move-in kit and she thought that maybe these headers were the wrong size because there was some extra white space. So I checked it. Sure enough, it is the Erin Condren design that is different for some reason on only the bouquet. So I came up with a solution for this, actually two solutions. One thing you can do is just white out the top line and then put your little square sticker, if you're using my moving kit that is, all the way down to this colorful line, and then you don't notice that at all. Another suggestion that Vicki came up with, and also somebody else in my Facebook group came up with, is that, and I'm going to throw this away by the way, that was just a test, was to put a thin strip of washi tape down on this part so that you just build up that space a little bit and then the header fits perfectly. So I went ahead and made some of those, and they're not necessary. Again, you could just white out at the top, but the reason I didn't go ahead and resize this kit, because you might be thinking, well, the easiest solution will be to just resize your bouquet 12 box headers. The problem with that is not everybody uses bouquet stickers on the Bouquet Life Planner. Some people order the bouquet stickers for minimal or for hexagon, and if that's the case, that would make these too tall. So since 2 out of the 3 designs have the size that fits this, I just feel like the most practical thing to do to serve the most number of people is to keep them all the size of the majority. Having said that though, I'm going to try this out. Just now designed these. They're not in my shop yet. If they work well, then I will put them in the shop. But I've got the washi tape that matches my boxes, and I'm just going to test this. Of course, I'm going to have this little leftover washi that I could use somewhere else or just throw away. But then this should work just right. It's actually a little bit taller than it needs to be. but I like that better than white space. I don't know if I like that look as much as I would like just whiting out the top part. I don't know, should I test one of those also? Let's do that. For those of you who have this and you're just curious to know how this is going to work, I'm going to white out just the top edge, and then we'll take the sort of blush color that matches this stripe and put it right up against that. So which look is better? You know, I'm not sure what I like more. I kind of like the whiteout look more. So, I mean, these are great, but I might just save them for something else and just white out the top. I think that is going to be the look that I like, just a little bit more than using this skinny washi. But I will go ahead and add this to my shop because it does work. I am instead going to just do the whiteout solution, and that is the most economical anyway, unless you just prefer these little washi strips. Okay, I like that better. So let me put this aside, but just so you know, I will put it in my shop. All right, so I'm going to use the new, these right here, these scripts. These are just headers that I came up with for things that I thought would be fun to have in my 12-box spread. You could also just do January, February, March, April, May, June, July, whatever you want to do with these 12 boxes. But I've done something kind of different every year. So I thought this year I would use these as headers and list things that I want to do over the next year in these categories. So places I want to declutter, ideas for rewards or treats that I can treat myself for, you know, something seasonal or having accomplished something, things I want to organize, things I want to beautify or just like make better. And when I was discussing these previously, I gave the example of our patio. I just wanted to put flowers in the flower pots. That's an example of beautifying something. Restaurants to try, top priorities, visit, make time for, skills to learn. And in my case, that's probably going to be piano pieces to practice and learn, places to go, write to, and stop doing. So we'll decide what goes where later, and I may not even use all of those. I may just decide to write in something different as I'm thinking through this. I kind of think I'm going to use them, but if I happen to think of something better while I'm doing this business on camera, then I will make a note of it. But I really do think that if you just white out the top of the box, it makes it look right, the way the minimal planner and the hexagon planners are laid out. I don't know why they did that. That just is a larger top space than in the other two planners. I don't know if it was an accident or if it was intentional. What is your favorite of these 6 colors? Call them whatever you want. They have earthy color names on the dual tip markers anyway. Things like terracotta, marigold, and I can't remember what the others are. This purple might be heather. Those are just really pretty. I like how that looks. Okay, I'm just gonna slap all those down off camera. Okay, so as I was doing that, I started thinking, you know, the leftover little spots that I had on those date covers, these would be great on this. So I could actually put, I think you know what I'm talking about before I demonstrate, but look, we could use the leftover centers of these and make little bullet points or check boxes. Maybe I'll do it like this. Maybe I'll line it up with the line. I don't know why the line doesn't go all the way to the edge. I'm not sure why that is. It doesn't really bother me, but I wonder if it does in the others. I'll have to check. Okay, so let's put these headers down, and maybe I will just do them willy-nilly. They're not in any particular order. They're just in an order that I could fit on this little sheet. So stop doing. I kind of want that to be in the forefront of my mind. Any habits that I want to quit. You know, like don't scroll on your phone at night. What's it called? Like doom scrolling, when you just mindlessly scroll. Death scrolling. I don't know what it's called. Stop doing. Should I put that right at the tippy top? Or put something positive there? I think I'm going to put it at the tippy top. Let's be real, a disciplinarian there at the tippy top. Okay, and then I'm going to pop down these guys, and then I'll fill it out when I want to. But I know one of the things I definitely want to stop doing is scrolling on my phone at night, because I can stay awake and not realize how sleepy I am. It's like when I put my phone down, it's like I'm instantly tired. And that tells me that I was tired when I was scrolling and I was just artificially awake, if that makes sense. And that's not good. So stop the death scrolling or doom scrolling. Tell me what it's called if you know. All right, and I will not make you sit through me doing these on all of this. Oh, let's put the rewards right next to it. So if we stop doing something, we get a reward. How's that? I like things to be gamified whenever possible. The organize and declutter are very similar. One declutter I associate with getting rid of things. Organize I associate with putting in order the things that you don't declutter, that you don't get rid of. So we'll put those together. Okay, let's just do people categories next. Like visit is not like a place, but it's people. People I need to visit. Make time for. That could be people. It could be something else. Write to. That is people. At least visit and write to I want to put together. And so these are sort of similar. And I'll tell you something. Older people love actual mail. And in the case of some of my mom's friends and even my mom, getting their mail is the highlight of the day. So think of some older people in your life that you could, I mean, they love phone calls too, but they can read your note over and over and over again. So think of some people that you could really brighten their days by giving them a card, writing them a note. Okay, now I don't know why I didn't think about putting top priorities at the top. I didn't think of that, but top priorities and make time for kind of go hand in hand. So let's put those together. And if you see this, you can learn from my oversight and possibly put your top priorities on the top row. But it doesn't matter really. This is just fun. It's functional, fun, and helping you to just think about things that you might not have thought about yet. You know, like I'm going to have to really do some thinking to come up with this many people to visit. And I may not come up with quite that many, but at least I will be thinking hard and maybe coming up with somebody that I could have overlooked before. So, you know, this is a random number of things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You may not come up with 7 for every category. And in fact, you may need 14 instead of 7. And in that case, you might do something like take a strip of washi and make 2 columns. There's an idea. You'd have to write kind of small, but you could do that. You could make 2 columns. So as this progresses, when I do my brainstorming and fill in these lines here, if I come up with more people or more things than 7, I will go ahead and use one of those skinny washi strips. Okay, and these are not all related, but restaurants to try and places to go sort of belong together. So I'll put those here. And then skills to learn and beautify are not exactly related, unless you think of a way that they are that I'm not thinking of. Skills to learn could be anything. It could be taking a class. It could be watching a YouTube video and trying something new. Maybe learning how to use your sticker cutting machine finally that you bought 5 years ago. Watching some tutorials. It could be anything. But in my case, I believe it's going to be piano pieces that I want to learn to play. And then beautifying is really just going to be, like I said before, taking areas that maybe don't need to be decluttered. They don't really need to be redecorated or overhauled, but you could do something simple to beautify the space. So, and the example was putting flowers in the pots on my patio, but other things are like seasonally changing the decor on the mantle that's in the front entryway of our house, or putting a nice centerpiece on the dining room table, or maybe putting something, I don't know, seasonal pillow on the couch, you know, whatever. Give me some ideas if you could think of any right now as I'm getting that topic started, because I could use some more. I need 7, right? For these 7 lines. Okay, this spread is all finished, and I'm wondering, do I need to put some washi tape up at the top? I don't know, maybe I should. But also I was thinking, you know, I don't want these to go to waste, so I may use my notes pages in the back to maybe put even more of my own, like 12 boxes, but in a different way, just like on notes pages. So if there's something I really want to do in January, something I really want to do in February, I don't know. These don't have to go to waste. They can be used on notes pages. I actually do want to add some washi at the top, so I'm going to go with the blue one this time and hopefully start with the first one. I didn't do that last time. And also, why don't we see what it looks like upside down? What if we did it this way? Like it's hanging from the top. I'll see if I need to white out that header. Yeah, I probably do. And for that matter, I probably need to lower the washi and just put it over the words area instead of up at the top. Let's see what it looks like this way, as opposed to this way. I kind of like it the right side up way. But in my Facebook group, Shania, hi Shania, was asking if, I'll show you what she was asking. It's on a different page. If the flowers were supposed to be upside down on a certain page of this planner, and yes, they are. And I will turn to that and show you why I believe they did it that way. It's a design choice, and I like it. And I think if I point out why I think they did that, I think you might see it that way too. We'll see. Let me flip back and show you. It's that beautiful spread of 2 bouquet pages. So these are upside down, and if you just isolate this page and don't look at this one as well, it might look like the whole page is upside down. But if you look at the whole scheme across 2 pages, what they have done is built like this diagonal line of flowers. So these are like hanging from something. You might be just like walking through some nice garden or something where you have lattice work and flowers are growing from vines and things like that. But I see 2 diagonal lines here that are built with the flowers, and so it's supposed to be that way. I think if I just isolated this one page and dwelt on that, I might think the page looked upside down, but in context, I think it looks just right. I think it's really beautiful that way. Let's white this out. And I have another idea for those skinny washi strips. Maybe you know what I'm thinking. I'm so glad they put longer washi strips in this washi fan. Okay, so the idea is to take one of those skinny washi strips and choose your favorite color and do another line. So let's see what pink would look like above this. Like it. Blue would be matchy-matchy, but I like the contrasting color. And yeah, that's the right one. So you have to put them together. You have to piece them together. But planner girls are good at piecing stickers together. We're going to save what's left over because you never know what we might come up with. Okay, just going to put it back right there. Is this beautiful or is this beautiful? Over here in my teacher planner, I'm using the 12 boxes totally differently, and my moving kit is not sized for an 8x10 planner. Nonetheless, it still looks good. And I start teaching in September, and I put my students' birthdays generally in these boxes. So I'm putting about a little more than 1/4 inch on each side of space. Does that make sense? 1/4 inch on each side. And that way they're more or less centered. And I could put a ruler down to make it exact, but I don't care that much about it being exact. And I've switched over, as you can tell, to the colorful moving kit. And I will put the summer months over here on the right. And birthdays in my piano studio are a big deal because I have this thing called the birthday drawer. And students who come to their lesson on the week of their birthday get to choose a prize from the birthday drawer. And children who have their birthdays in the summer, when we're not having our piano lessons, if they don't take any summer lessons, I let them get their treat from the drawer, either at the very beginning on the first lesson of the year. Like if they had an August birthday, they can come to their first lesson in September and get a prize from the birthday drawer. Or if they have their birthday in June after we have finished piano lessons, they can get a prize from the birthday drawer in May. So basically what we have here are, did I do it the right way? September, October? Yeah, I'm going vertically. And you could go side to side if your brain works that way. But mine works better this way. So these are the teaching months. These are the summer lesson months. And I'm so glad that Erin Condren took the months off of these because it used to be January through December. And it just felt wrong. Some schools, I guess, do start in January, their school year. At least that's what I heard. I don't really know that. But it never worked really well for me. It was okay because I could just do birthdays on a calendar year spread, but this is much better. It makes more sense to me. And then most teachers would put August 1st because they probably start school in August, but I start in September. So this is a birthday spread. Let's be extra and put a skinny washi, since I have some here, in the matching color underneath each one. So I just lined that up right underneath the first line, and I'm not going to make you sit through that. I will just get it done. There it is. And I pulled out my teacher sticker book. I bought a bundle of accessories, and that was the best deal on getting the new teacher accessories. And I haven't done a video going through this sticker book, but there are all these birthday stickers here, and I thought I would just kind of do a hodgepodge of birthday up there. know what? I used a birthday cake icon there. That's from the teacher sticker book, but I forgot that my very favorite decorative Erin Condren stickers are these pretty cakes. So I think I'm just going to go purple and pop a cake down there. There's not enough room, is there? I need to trim off the white part at the bottom, and maybe that'll do it. In fact, I'll make the cake just a little bit shorter. That looks good. I love how this one turned out. I think it is so happy, and I'm really delighted that the stickers for the 7x9 planner don't look bad in this. Even if you didn't have this washi strip, it still would not look bad. It would match closely enough for me. Okay, so let's move on now. Look at this. Both of these. Love it. I love both color schemes. I flipped to the back of mine where I have the budget add-on, and I thought this would be a great place to actually use these month headers that I didn't use from my bouquet move-in kit. And I'm going to line up the side of this tab with the edge of the ledger on the right. There are 14 sheets or 28 pages plus these two. So really there are two more. I'm just not going to use this one since it's on the tab. I don't want to have the financial stuff right there on the tab. So I'm starting here. So front and back will be July, and then August will be here, etc. September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, and June. And if I ever need more than a front and a back, I have 2 extra pages here that I could snip and just carefully pop back in where they are needed. What I did just now in time lapse was a little bit over the top, but I took my pastel and bouquet dual tip markers and traced the column lines on these spending tracker ledgers. I also wrote the title of the month on the flip side of the page with a corresponding color, and that just dressed it up a little bit. Totally unnecessary, but that's what I did. Now I want to set up some notes pages using just some of the headers that are on these 3 sheets. So this is sheet A, and it comes with all the move-in kits. This is sheet C, which I didn't offer last year, but I made it after I did my planner move-in or during that time, because I was missing some things that I wanted. And this is sheet B. This is full of ideas, as is this one from members of my Facebook group, Plan Sarah Plans Planner Circle. I'm just going to use some of these, and I'm going to start with the ones that I used the most in real life last year. One that I used every single week was this one, Weekly Kits and Themes, and it's double-sided. So I'm going to set this one up exactly the same way. Unfortunately, I've already used some of these notes up, so this was for my video where I was explaining what you could do with your sticker book, the bouquet sticker book, and just kind of divided up all the different categories of stickers. and then made some samples of what you could do with the Life Planner stencil. And then this was a pen test with the pastel and bouquet pen set. So I've used up a bunch of these notes pages, but I have more notes pages that are in my minimal Life Planner, and I will probably end up either snipping those and adding them, or more likely recoiling, because I really want to take that giant coil off of my minimal planner and use it over here. But we can go ahead and set up weekly themes and kits on this notes divider, which I believe is the one that I used last year too. For a pop of color, I put down one of these backgrounds. You don't have to put anything with this. This can actually just be a colorful header. You can also use it to divide your page in half if you don't need an entire page for one of your categories or things that you're tracking. But I just like to put that up at the top and then put the script on top of it. I just think it looks nice. Weekly kits and themes is on sheet B. There we go. And then I had a column for the dates, and then I could write down what I used on the right. So let me get a highlighter for that. I'm going to use this one this year. I love these. They're nice and fat. And I'm going to get out my ruler again and just draw one column just to the right of the ruler to make it simple. These are stickers for the dates each week, so I will probably make myself some more of those. Let me know in the comments if you want me to offer those in the shop. I could probably put those in the shop if enough people wanted them. So I'm going to go right up to that colorful background. And this is a little darker green than that is, but I like that green. I think it looks really pretty. And you have to be really careful. I couldn't tell you this when I was in time lapse, but you have to be really careful when you are using a ruler and a marker or a pen, because the ruler might transfer some of the color. And so what I end up doing is wiping off the edge of the ruler after I use it. We'll flip this over and do the same thing on the back. Now I am going to go ahead and recoil and put more notes pages in here. But here is a tip for you if you don't want to go through that, and if you simply don't have enough notes pages, you can take a plain sheet of sticker paper and just pop it on top of a page that you're not going to use and turn it into a notes page. If you want your notes page to look similar to the Erin Condren notes page, I sell a digital download for 99 cents in my shop. It's just a printable notes page, but you will need to have some nice paper to print it on, preferably sticker paper. If you don't have that though, you could just print it on a nice white sheet of paper, cut it out. It has the lines on it where you will cut it out to fit. Since I have this other Life Planner right beside me and I would like to have the bigger coil, I am going to go through the process of uncoiling and adding a few blank notes pages. One of the things you want to do first is take off your covers if you're uncoiling. Then you're going to want to get all of your pages neatly stacked. Then you're going to need some jumbo clips. So if you have some jumbo binder clips, that's the perfect thing for it. I don't have any down here, so I'm going to run upstairs to my desk where I do have a few. You might be able to do it with this, but I would use more than one. Maybe with a planny pack, you might be able to hold everything still. But you get the idea. This would probably work, but I'm going to go ahead and get the binder clips and see if they will fit this whole planner. Any method, including this, that holds everything steady for you. This was the largest one I could find, and it's not really big enough, so I'm just going to go with this. I'm going to double up on these planner straps, and it's pretty tight. Now what you're going to need are a couple of these guys. What are they called? I don't know. Needle nose pliers, possibly. This one has spring action, this one doesn't, and I thought I might need two. This could scratch the coating. So what we're going to do is wrap some washi tape around the tool. Okay, so what we're going to do next is straighten this out, and I have not watched any videos to refresh my memory on what we're going to do, so hopefully I'm right. I'm just going to pull this out so I can see it and maybe hold. You know what, we're going to wrap these also. All right, now I have both sets of these pliers capped with washi tape, so we're going to take this out so we can see the end. One pair of pliers is just going to hold things still. The other one is going to do the bending. You just want to make it straight. And we're going to tilt it forward just a little. Okay, I feel like this might work. I feel like it might work, but I think I need to get this in line with the coil just a little bit more. Okay, so now that is lined up, but it's a little bit jagged right there. Here we go. What if I turn it this way? Will that help? I think I've got it straightened out enough. I just have to put my hand over here when we get to the tricky part. Okay, this coil is out, and now I am going to do the exact same thing to the one that has the bigger coil. If you look here, you can see that this is a larger coil, so all of this is worth it, right? Okay, here we are. My forearm is a bit fatigued. Let's just be honest, this is not easy. Before we do this, I need to add some notes pages. So we're going to take this apart. Are you all scared? Okay. Also, I want to make sure I put the correct coil on, right? This is the bigger one. Okay, so we're going to take the pocket off and the back page. All right, actually the whole budget section. And we're going to take out this, this, and this. I guess we're going to open this guy up. And this one did fit around the minimal vertical because it does not have an add-on section. And then I tightened this up and just, you know, use that as a strap. So we're going to go back here and grab 1, 2, 3 notes pages. Now let's see if we have any more we can steal. I could take this tab notes page. I could take this one, which has the Heritage Holidays on the back, and I could cover that up. I did that last year and it worked really well. I could put that in there. And I don't think I need this. I think that's it for this one. So we're going to stack this back up and get the edges just so, and put this on it. It actually helps to have this on it when you put the strap on it. So now that I don't have a coil, I can come this way with the strap. And I think it's probably best, although I'm not positive, to put your strap or clips close to the holes. All right, so we're going to set this aside. That's our second priority, not our top priority. So this was the notes page that I already did, and now we have 3 blank ones, maybe 4 blank ones. 1, 2, 3. Then there is this. Let me see what else was behind the budget part, because we might be able to bring that forward. I usually cover this up. Also, no, I could cover that up, but not the back of it, because that's where my 2027 calendar is. So I think I will pull this up also. and we'll just cover up both of those heritage pages that I don't particularly use. And I don't see anything else that I want to bring in. So let's stack this. Let's put the folder on there too. Just a little piece right there at the end we're going to repair. You're getting way more than you bargained for here. And just cover the very edge. And fold it just so that a little bit of the tape covers the back edge. Okay, so that is repaired. And we will stack it. Let's get our pretty vellum sheet here. And we'll cut this way. All right, so once we get this, we'll look at the holes. They look like they are lined up. So now what? Let's grab these. And I did not let go with my left hand. These, I just feel like they're stronger when you put them together. Let's go this way, but I can't really stand it up because of the tabs. Okay. Whew. Now we're going to do that again. Okay. And straighten this out. Okay. Now, if we can get this started, then we'll be able to finish it. The first few, I think, will be the hardest to do. Okay, so it's through. And you can see how it really wants the pages to be curved down in the middle. I will go into time lapse to do all this so you won't have to be stressed out. Piece of cake. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have to bend it back to look kind of like that. I know some people have before, I've seen them just cut this and then put a cap on it. I don't have a tool to cut these with, and I also don't have a cap. So that's why we're going to try to bend it back. Is that good enough? I think it's good enough. It's a little roughed up. You can definitely see I probably needed to put more washi tape because it's just a little bit roughed up. But it's done, and it's a bigger coil than I had on it before. Really hope I put the right coil on here. What? I put the wrong coil on it. I 100% put the wrong coil on it. Did you all even know that I did that? I did that. Well, the good news is that the one that's roughed up is the one that's wrong. Oh my goodness. If I had known it was going to be that difficult, would I have done it? Probably, just because I'm going to have a whole year with a nicer coil. But if I had it to do over again, I would have double checked my coil. Now let's just double check it now. Make sure I put the right thing on. So if it's correct, this ruler should, yes, it tilts up there. It tilts up. That is the taller, wider, bigger coil. So now, where were we? Now, what I'm going to do at this point is go print off two of my digital download notes pages and cover up this notes page and this heritage. They're both heritage and awareness observances pages that I don't really need. And that will give me 2 additional notes pages. So I will be right back. Okay, I printed out 2, and I have a version that is black and white or grayscale like this. And all you do is cut inside the border, and then you'll have a notes page that fits inside the Life Planner. Next notes page. This is going to be for like family memories, news, things that happen throughout the year that I just want to remember. This page helps me with my scrapbooking because I can't always remember the backstory with pictures that we take. And sometimes there is no picture, and it's just nice to write down memorable moments, and I need a front and back for that. And I usually have a column here for the date. So let's take another one of those pens. I don't know what they call these. They're just great highlighters. That's not the real name of them, but in my mind, they are their best highlighters, and the bleed through is not bad at all, if any. Love that color. Look how nicely it matches. And I don't need to draw anything across the top. This will just be where I put the date, and then I will write the memory. On the back side, we'll do the same thing, and I will just come in a ruler's width. All right. There's this family fun sticker that I don't really use, so I'm just going to take the family part of it and okay, we're actually going to do it this way, and I'll just roughly get it centered. And if you don't push my stickers down very hard, they will remain repositionable for a short amount of time. After that, don't even try to move them because they're going to be fairly permanent. Okay, my next notes page will be the prayer list, and I only need one side for that. And last year I used just half a page, so I could use this for 2 different things, but I think I'll give it a whole page for now. And this comes from sheet B of the headers. The next one will be on the back. This is going to be car maintenance, and 1 page is normally enough. This is from sheet A, which comes with the move-in kit. And this one has a column for the date, the description, and then the cost. The next one is going to be home maintenance. Last year I had quite a few things to put on this one. This is also from sheet A. And I'll have a column for the date, column for the description, and a column for the amount, just like with car maintenance. Next one that I used last year is my filming ideas, and just ideas for videos that you guys give me and that I think of. Love that color. I don't have a purple highlighter though. I mean, not in one of those chunky ones. I do have a purple highlighter, just a different kind. Now I'm going to do family clothes and shoe sizes. And honestly, the contacts page is a great place for that. But my contacts page is way behind my budget section. And I'd rather have it here in the notes proper. And so that's why I'm doing it here. But last year I did do it on the contact sheet because the contact sheet I don't ever use for contacts. And it's great. It's just like a form that you can fill out for your family names and their clothes sizes. There you go. Next, I'm going to set up a routines 2-page spread. I love how this turned out, and I did kind of, after I pushed stop on the camera, move things around a little bit. I just cut off the end of the word routine and abbreviated it with a period, and I love how this turned out. This is not something that I keep filling out, but it's something that I like to refer to if I'm ever in like a slump, especially with summer, fall, winter, and spring ideas. These are kind of like rituals, things to do for each season, but these I'm going to try to make like unique and special routines for each day of the week that, you know, work with my realistic work life as well as incorporate things that I need to make time for. These last 2 pages are going to have to do with money. Since I'm not going to start my spending summary or transaction log on the tabbed page, I'm starting it on the first regular sheet after that. I'm going to make use of this ledger and just make a master list of my bills. And that is something that I put on the sidebar of my monthly spread every month. And I just think it would be, I guess, handy to have. This is not super necessary because I have that sidebar list, but it's super handy. In fact, maybe it can take the place of that sidebar list and I could use the sidebar for something else. But I'm just going to list recurring bills here and large expenses over here. So I've used a whole lot of sheet C. And that makes sense because sheet C was something that I came up with specific things that have to do with me, but maybe they will have to do with you too. I didn't use as much of sheet B. I did use some of sheet A, and that makes sense because these were other people's ideas mostly. So I still may use them, and I have 2 more of these left, and let's just flip through the notes pages and see what we have. Weekly kits and themes, 2-sided. Family memories, 2-sided. Prayer list. Car maintenance and home maintenance. Filming ideas and plans. Family clothes and shoe sizes. Routines. Large expenses and bills. I think I'm happy with that. I also have these kind of social media routine cards that I made last year, and I love these. I use them several times throughout the year, and the routines are on the back of these, and I put them in a little pocket last year right here. And I do have some more of these pockets, so maybe I will move these over to the new planner. This is how they looked. It was adorbs. And I have my AM routine and PM routine over here, but I really loved that. That was just super cute. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I put a little pocket on that? It was so cute. All right, these are not even on the website anymore. So I have 2 purple ones and I have 1 more pink one. This is what I used last year. So I guess I can do this for 3 more years. Let's use a purple just to change it up. And I think I got these during a warehouse sale. This is super sticky, so it's not coming up. And these pockets are so cute because they have stitching on them and they're made of paper, but it's like a somewhat water resistant and tear resistant paper. So here we go. I'm just going to keep the same ones and kind of just spread them out like that. Okay, we're going to quit with this planner. I don't think I'm going to do anything else in this one, but we added the name. I may end up putting some photographs or something here. We've done dates for the coming year and color coded that. And you may not have been able to see it very well because these colors are pastels, but it looks really cute. And I mean, I just really like it. This was a mock-up spread that I did just playing with this planner. I am not going to use this June spread. That was a freebie. And then here is where the month of July will begin. Then we went to the back, and again, we have some mock-ups back here. In fact, I could take out and debulk this a little bit more by taking out the whole month of July. Let's do that. That gives me even more room on this coil, and I have trimmed off all of the yuckiness from the coil of the pages that I removed from both planners, and I am going to put this in my giveaway box. I have no idea if anybody will have any use for it. Maybe it'll just be drawing paper for your little one, or maybe you can experiment with the layout. So that freed up some extra room, and we have the notes pages all done. We've got the budget section all kind of spiffied up with a bit of color. We have a last little bit of routines in this pocket. That's all I'm going to do in this planner. Now, I would totally forgive you and understand and also sympathize if you decided that you have had enough of this video, but there is going to be some bonus footage after this. So if you are not going to watch the bonus footage, let me just tell you, thank you for watching. I really appreciated you being here for this move-in video. And if you are sticking around for the bonus footage, then I'll talk to you some more. What I'm doing now is plotting lesson dates, piano events, music teachers meetings in my teacher planner. There's not a whole lot to list right now, but there is enough that I feel like I would get a jump on things if I go ahead and transfer what we've organized so far into my planner. I decided to have fun pulling out my old decorative monthly stickers that I have pulled from all kinds of monthly sticker books and divided them into these covers, which are older, clearly, and the pages are all torn out. But this is January through June, and this is July through December. So I'm just going to be decorating with various monthly sticker sheets. that is so much easier than writing out all of those dates. And it's really helpful too when I'm trying to do my monthly plan with me to kind of look ahead and see what holidays might be falling during certain weeks and stuff like that. And boy, this plan with me is getting long. And I thought of a new notes page that I would love to have. And I don't know if I have a place for it, but I think there should be a notes page called What to Wear. And that it would be like for big events that are coming up, like things that a piano recital, for example, what to wear. I might just end up putting it right here. And what do you think about that? Is that, or even here, I could cover this up and use that what to wear at certain events. There may just be like a small handful, but getting that off of my mind and taken care of would be really helpful. In fact, I could even do it here, what to wear. This is a permanent pen. What if I just wrote what to wear there? I have a thing coming up where I'm going to be performing in July with a barbershop quartet. And if I skip ahead to Dress Like a Composer week, I don't usually dress like a composer, but maybe I will. And then the next thing coming up after that would be the Christmas recital. And I guess there's probably going to be other things, but Easter and the spring recital. I can be thinking about outfits for these things. And this worked just fine. This is an Avery Marks a Lot. So that's a permanent pen. It shouldn't go anywhere and it won't smudge onto this pocket. So that's an idea for one of your notes pages, or you can do like me and just use your cover. And since I just wrote on the back cover, I thought of a way to use the front cover, at least one box of it. You know, Erin Condren has set up the monthly and weekly layout of these pages differently. In the past, if there were any days of the following month in a week, that whole week would appear after the next month. They've changed that, and it may be that the majority is what wins. I'm not really sure. It looks like it, at least for July to August, because you have 4 days of July, 3 days of August here. Then the August tab. So that means that I would need to do my setup plan with me for the month of August, the week of the 28th through the 3rd. And so I'm going to go through, probably in time lapse, and jot these dates down. I already know when I'm going to do my July setup plan with me, so I'm going to start with the August one and just put August and then the week dates of when I would film it. So 7/28 to 8/3, I think is what it was. I actually kind of love this, and I'm thinking of other ways to fill these in, and I never use these, so I'm excited. Of course, if I change my cover, I will either need to keep this handy or transfer this over to my new cover, but that's no big deal. How's this look? I just used a fatter permanent pen to do that. Here's what I came up with, books of the month, and I like the idea of planning these out ahead. And I've already come up with, or I came across a book that I thought would be terrific as a book of the month, but it's a Christmas book. So it either needs to be November or December, and just having a place to log these and also assign them a month as I come across recommendations. I love this idea. So all I did was put the 12 months. Mine starts with July. If you're watching this for your planner setting up in January, of course you would do it on the calendar year. So now I'm thinking of what to put down here in this bottom box. I think planning ahead my themes of the month, meaning the sticker kits that I design and the vibe that I'm going for, or the message, or just character of the kits that I'm going for. I already have my August kit designed. I thought maybe I should start with July here just to make it coincide with the planner, but instead I want to look ahead a bit. So I started with August, and I'm thinking maybe I should have even started with September, because I've already designed patio time, and I've started designing my September kit, which I know is going to be called Artsy Life. And then I just came up with 2 themes that I want to go for in October and November: the charm of fall and attitude of gratitude. So I may try to brainstorm and fill out this whole year so that part of the work is done for me before I begin to design. But I just am excited to finally have a good use for this page, and we'll see how this goes. This is not as full, but what to wear. If there are weddings that we're invited to, or if there are other big events that come onto the schedule, then I will add to that. But I'm super excited about this. All right, guys, this is the actual last thing I'm going to do, I'm pretty sure. This is a pad of sticky notes that I picked up in a sale. They don't offer these anymore except sometimes in big sales. And they are perfect for planning ahead. So I'm going to just plop one of these down on every monthly sidebar and have a place to write if I should need it before I actually get down to planning in ink. One for July. And I'm going to save these if I don't write on them. One for August. September. October. November. December. And they are a little bit gunky because they're old. This is Painted Petals, which is a pretty old design. I'm not going to really worry about that because I'm going to throw it away anyway when I actually do my planning. And January, February, March, April, May, and June. And that's it. Goodness. And with that, I think we're done. Okay, so to recap, here is what we did. In all three of these planners, I put a name sticker. In the two coil planners, I did a barcode cover up. In this planner and this planner, I debulked, removed the stickers, and I swapped the coils, not the coals, on these two coil planners. I did the 12 box spreads in the teacher planner, using them for birthdays. And then in my coil planner here, the bouquet dashboard, I used it for just different areas of life that I want to do certain things in. I set up a bunch of notes pages in this one. I did even more notes pages, sort of charts, on the inside, front and back covers. And in the teacher lesson planner, I marked all of the lesson dates, piano events, teachers' meetings. And then I also went in and put in birthdays for some famous composers, and I added Erin Condren stickers to decorate the monthly spreads. I think that's all I did, but this has been filmed over the course of an entire week, so I may have forgotten something. And I will try to go back in and watch this video if I'm able to edit this whole behemoth and upload it and put some timestamps underneath for people who just want to skip through. Of course, if you're listening at this point, you've watched the whole thing perhaps, but I will try to put timestamps. And thank you for the feedback in the Facebook group, by the way. As I was about halfway through this, I realized it was getting really long, and at that point it was about 90 minutes, and I was trying to edit it down more. That was already with some editing. And my Facebook friend said, go ahead and just make it long. I will watch it in sessions. I'll watch it one day and then pick it back up another day, or I'll plan with you. The longer the better. And then I think someone wanted me to split it into 2 or 3 videos, but instead of doing that, I am going to just put the timestamps, and hopefully that will make this easier. And there's still a lot of actual planning to do. Like, I want to fill out more things in my notes pages, but they're set up. I want to do some lesson planning, but my calendar and my overview is all set up. What am I going to do with this planner? I don't know. I just think I am not quite ready to say goodbye to the vertical just yet. So I'm hanging on to it, and we'll probably do some planning in it. But I'm going to jump on in, start filming Plan With Me's in this one for the first week in July, and we'll see how that goes. So thank you guys so much for hanging in there. If you are still here, oh my goodness, you are a planner trooper. I want to tell you. I really appreciate it. And again, I know I mentioned this at some point in the video. If you have move-in ideas that you would be willing to share with me and the others who read the comments, please go ahead and share your ideas in the comments. There is an idea, I'm just now remembering, I thought of it at certain points when I was filming and just never came to the point where I was doing it. Someone in my Facebook group chooses a scripture of the year and they write it somewhere like here, maybe. But a good place to do that, because I think it was a great idea. I might write a scripture of the year in this pink space or maybe on the title page. I think that's a great idea. I suppose I could put it on the vellum, but I don't know. I've never done anything on vellum before. I'm not sure how that would go. But a scripture of the year is a great idea. In fact, I could sacrifice Bloom into a New Era and just cover that up and put a scripture of the month. So that's one thing I have yet to do. But if you have other ideas similar to that or completely different and you're willing to share, I hope you'll do it. Thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.